Hey, welcome back to another episode of Chad Williams Fixes All. In this episode, we're going to be replacing the front brake hose on this 2004 Saturn Vue. Let's get to it. So we've been working on this Saturn Vue a lot on this channel. I think I've mentioned this a few times before if you watched my other videos. But in the previous video, you saw me replacing the brake caliper. If you did not see me doing that, you can check that out right here. But when we replaced the brake caliper, everything was going great on it. Took the old one off, put the new one back on. It was looking really good, and then we went to go bleed the brakes. Bleeding the brakes did not work at all. We put the vacuum pump up to it, and it did not have any air or fluid coming out of it. I had my wife actually hop in the car, and she pumped up the brakes, and it would not have anything come out when I released the bleeder screw. So something is amiss, and I've actually had an issue where on a buddy's Saturn Vue before, same exact issue. Caliper was dragging, replaced calipers, it still didn't work, and then we ended up figuring out that it was a brake hose. So the brake hose actually has the possibility of collapsing on the inside. It actually seems kind of common on these Saturn Vues. So we went ahead and picked up a brand new brake hose for this. This is the driver front. Should be the same process for the for the front passenger side. So just go ahead and do it in reverse if you have the passenger side, but they are different, so you want to make sure you get the right side, just like calipers. So we're going to go ahead and start working on this. You can see here that the vehicle's already jacked up and the wheel's off. I'm going to just do a quick snippet of another video where I take the wheel off and everything like that, but we got the wheel off already, and we're just going to go ahead and get right into changing out this brake hose. Should be pretty straightforward, and hopefully then we can bleed the brakes on this and get this thing rolling again. So let's get to it. So changing the brake hose is pretty easy on this. Like I mentioned, we have a brand new caliper and caliper bracket on it. This is the brake hose. So this is the banjo bolt that came in with the brake kit, or the brake caliper. And then this is the hose going all the way up. And then it connects up here to the hard line. So we have to release the hard line here, take out this U-clip, pull that out. Then we can fish this out of here. And then we can disconnect this banjo bolt down here and actually bring it out. So I'll probably go ahead and do this first. Start messing with the top after, get everything loose, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and start taking this apart. So actually, before we begin, a couple things that can cause this brake line to collapse. It's just old age, whether or not you bend it or kink it when taking the caliper on and off. Since my caliper was dragging before I actually messed with it, so I think it was something that happened over time with age. But what it causes is actually the caliper to stay out and not retract. And what that will do then is actually heat up your brake caliper and your rotor and cause them to actually wear prematurely on the brake pads. So it makes everything actually quite bad on the front braking system. And replacing that brake hose should make things actually expand and contract like they should. Also, as far as this brake hose goes, you can go ahead and find this in the description. The description will have a link to Amazon, and you can go ahead and pick up this brake hose just like I did. So let's get to it. $13mm line wrench. All right, so we got the old hose out. You can see here that I did break off this bolt that connects the hose to the strut tower. That's unfortunate, but I did go ahead, get my chisel out and everything like that, and busted out that bolt on the other side there. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can just put a bolt and nut through it and call it a day. Reuse the same exact hole. So we can go ahead and start working now and putting the new line back onto the car. But the first thing we need to do is get this bracket off. Spot right here, so we can go ahead and put this back on the vehicle and snap it in right where it needs to go. Now this looks like how the new brake hose is, so everything should line up as it should. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is put on the brake hose down here. So installing the brake hose down here will get me into the right position on how everything should go. It should look something similar to that right there. It kind of just all flows and fits as it should. So I'll go ahead and put on the 2 copper washers here and install that 11mm banjo bolt back into there. Now be sure to use the new banjo bolts that they supply with it. Next, I'm going to install my new nut and bolt on the bracket here. And now I'll go ahead and insert the brake hose. All right, so I want to put on that U-clip right there. So I just had to push it in really hard. The C-clip on the bottom, don't take that off. That's what prevents it from going too far up. So this little E-clip or C-clip right here just goes right in and slides into the hole and rests within the top of it. And now we can go ahead and thread back in our brake hose. And there we go. That is now reinstalled back on the top. Everything's nice and tight everywhere along here. Nothing's kinked. It looks like it flows as it should. So now I think we can go ahead and try to bleed this again. So we'll try it with that vacuum pump again. Hopefully that works. See how it goes. Also, I just want to try it. I've never done it before. Should be pretty easy though. So let's hook that back up. See if we can pull some vacuum down through this. All right, so we want to make sure we can break that bleeder valve loose. So I'm going to loosen it up. Make sure it's nice and loose. Then we can take our vacuum pump here. I'm going to hook it up. Go ahead and pull some vacuum, make sure everything looks good. There we go. We're able to pull vacuum there. It is leaking off a little bit. We'll see if we can get a nice tighter feel on that. But we're going to go ahead and crack that bleeder valve loose and see if we can get it to suck some fluid. Look at that, we're getting some fluid now. That's awesome. It's a really good sign. You don't want to let this go down past 5. Getting lots of air. You can hear it kind of spitting and sputtering. All right, we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up real quick and then fill it back up top with the reservoir. All right, we just went ahead and filled it back up top on the reservoir, and we're going to pump this back up again. A nice vacuum. Break it back open, still spitting and sputtering. Almost flowing only fluid. Okay, we're going to tighten that back up. We're going to go ahead and fill up the master cylinder one more time. All right, that's filled back up again. Let's go ahead and do this one more time. Getting lots of fluid out. No more air bubbles. Tighten that up. Nice and tight. I think we're good now. So when we go in this Vue now, we should have a nice firm brake pedal. So that feels really good. Brake pedal is nice and firm. So I did realize I did forget to do one thing. I did forget to tighten up this banjo bolt a little bit, and I do see a little bit of fluid leaking. So I'm going to tighten this up and actually do it one more time. There we go, that's nice and tight now. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We got a lot done. We got the brake hose all taken care of and replaced. We got the brakes bled. Since this is the driver front closest to the master cylinder, I'm only gonna bleed this one because it shouldn't have leaked back or anything like that to any of the other brakes. But everything looks really, really good. Underneath there, no drips, no leaks. That vacuum pump worked awesome this time. So if you are looking to replace your hose, do it this way. If you need to change your brakes, check out my video down in the description for changing the brakes. If you need to change the brake calipers and rotors, same deal. I got all those videos down in the description and on my channel. If you need the actual hose, hit the description as well, and you also hit that link. Otherwise than that, if you like this video, click like, subscribe to my channel if you like me and all my other videos, and until next time, see ya.